Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Hermit Life. Thanks for joining me today. It is a beautiful day out here in the desert. First thing, I want to apologize for not putting out a video last week. I got a great excuse though. That excuse is Shotcut, the video editing program. Mostly why I got the new computer was because I couldn't do what I really wanted to do, editing videos. Shotcut is 5 steps above what I was using. It's a good starter program. It has its own issues. We'll get into that in a different video. That's not for this one. But I've spent basically the last 12 days, 10 to 12 hours a day, staring at the video screen, using Shotcut, learning all the different things. I'll put out a video at the end of this one. I'll tag it on. This was the projects I was doing. The first lesson was actually moving video clips in and out, how to move video clips around the timeline, how to use a multi-track editor, because my other one was not multi-track. It was one track. You barely had a secondary audio track. This, I can pump as many tracks as the machine will handle. Right now, this machine can handle 14 tracks, 12 video, 2 audio. If I need one or the other, I have to lose one or the other on the other side. I've already found the maximum this machine can do. But it's not bad for now. I'll keep using it. Look, if you're gonna stare at a screen for a week, learning how to do something like this, you wanna stare at something cool. So I took a bunch of French-made dance video. Hot chicks in French-made costumes, come on. And that's what I use. So this first video at the end of this one is it's a French-made dance party, but basically it's just titling, chroma key, transitioning, keyframing, moving things around, and me learning how to use this machine. That video took about a week to make. The second video is the dream sequence. Dream sequence was the first video I have ever made that I can remember that was actually planned from start to finish. Dream sequence was written, storyboarded, every single camera move, and that's what this lesson was about, was camera moves, subtext, visual storytelling. Every single camera move was planned. I've got 4 sheets over there, front and back, storyboarded camera moves, transitions, everything about it was pre-planned. I went through all, normally I'm just, doing dance videos and fun stuff, so I just set them up in dancing, and then in editing, I make it all mixed to the beats. This was completely different. It was all pre-planned. Every shot was pre-planned. As a result of storyboarding everything and pre-planning every shot, I didn't have to render anywhere near as much 3D work as normal for that kind of show. It was a little bit quicker there, but it also took a little bit longer because every camera move was directed. It was a directed move. So the second video, the dream sequence, it's so full of subtext, it's hilarious. It's like in your face. If you're an editor and the director comes to you and he says, I don't like that section there, I want that sequence over here. That was the exercise. So I had to take an entire section of the dream sequence, which was basically the dream sequence itself, and move it to another place in the timeline and plop it back down and rearrange everything to make that fit. So there's actually 2 versions of that one. There's the original, and then there's the final with the move section. The move section is cool. I actually like that better, except for one match cut at the end didn't come out as, I couldn't make the camera move to highlight the part of the screen I needed to. So I actually like the first ending better, but I like the final. Anyway, I'll attach both endings so you can see the alternate ending on the after this one. So stick around after this here. And I was going to do another French-made one, and it had already been 10 days since I'd put out a video. And I felt bad about that. So what I did was I made the opening for this show as my third lesson. So what you just saw, the opening, that took about 4 days to make, and it was pretty pre-planned. I didn't have a storyboard for it, but I knew the scenes that I wanted. I had an idea. That one was just to learn how to use frames and overlays and to impose one thing onto another. Now, I'm competent enough with Shotcut. I went ahead and made these buzz screens, we'll punch to the set. We're going to do some other stuff, and because the show format is going to change, I'm going to, or expand on how you want to say it, because BattleBots is gearing up for this next season. I'm not going to make it with I should say Mantisaur is not going to make it, obviously. There's no way he's going to make it this year. but that doesn't slow me down. It's actually a good thing. That was always the plan anyway. That gives me another full year to fundraise. So that's basically what's going on right now. It's going to take me a few more days to get used to it. I'm going to do a few more exercises. I might switch off of this to DaVinci Resolve. It depends. I'll do another video about Shotcut. I'm probably going to go ahead and do it from the beginner's viewpoint. So if you're into video editing or interested in Shotcut, that will be a fun one to watch. I'll put that one out next, hopefully. I swear I will get back to answering viewer questions. I'm going to answer the question of why I quit swallowing swords. I've tried 9 times. 9 times. That's kind of one of the reasons I originally slowed down a couple weeks ago. I'm still trying to answer that question nicely. Anyway, give us a share, hit the subscribe button. So that's it for the intro. Join me at patreon.com, Team AMF. Help me get a nice top tier robot built for next season. Stick around for news for this season. Things are happening. But anyway, on with the show. It is nasty out here. It is early, but I had to come out and get this for you. Looks like we have got, oh yeah, we have got a beautiful day coming today, although it's cloudy, which is actually nice. Keeps the temperature down a little. Project for today, I made a mistake. I let some dishes sit too long in the RV because, you know, when I moved out, there was some dirty dishes in the sink and they got ucky dishes are not good. So I took the ucky dishes and I put them in a 5-gallon bucket and I filled it with water and let it sit and I dumped it all through the system, and that was an even bigger mistake because the ucky black water clogged up the pipes. Yeah, I got water coming out, the overflow. Now I designed this floor so anything that does drain out goes out that way, right along this crack. It is overflowing in here. It's black, smelly, moldy water, and the water in here is turned nasty black. So I got some bleach. I got some cheap bleach I'm going to pour in the system, and then I'm going to take everything out, clean all this water out. I'm going to go ahead and just replace the sand because I got sand everywhere. Probably replace the char. I'll probably replace everything in here. Just take it out, dump it, and start it all over again because I messed it up. But first I got to clean it out. Ooh, it smells bad in here too. I'm just going to change the bucket out, the one that's outside. That was just an old bucket anyway. I need to dig that better. But so that's going to be today's project. Got to dump this all out, take everything out, take the whole system apart, and rebuild my water purification system. The first thing I've grown out here. Potatoes in a bucket. All right, so I need to get to work. See ya. It's good that I have the big inverter in here because this vacuum cleaner, it sucks up a lot of power. So I'm going to actually turn the freezer off before I turn the vacuum cleaner on. I know what you're gonna say. I didn't wash anything out. You're right, I didn't wash anything out. Hold on. I don't have a lot of water to be washing things out. I'm just trying to recapture my washing water and my laundry water to use for plants. Right now, I'm not worried about drinking it myself. I'm not trying to make pure drinking water. I'm just trying to clean the detergents and the food and the particles and stuff out of it so I can safely use it to feed plants. So this is going to be fun. I'm going to let that, I'll run through a little bit. I actually have laundry going right now, and I'll use that to start priming this system up. We'll see if it runs and leaks. I still got to get all the water out of that though first, because I don't want any of that old water in there. So we're not done yet, but a little closer. That initial system was a good test. I've never built a water purification system like this before. It did have a couple issues. One, when I built everything around it, I literally built things around it, and I knew it when I had done it that I put a piece of wood in the way and I couldn't get it out easily. So I had to cut that piece of wood out, but I knew I was going to have to do that. I want to fix that issue. It had another issue, is water went in and went under a wall through the bottom filter and then back up. Then it went out. Now what that allowed water to stand in the bottom half almost all the time, literally all the time. There was always water standing in the bottom. So the flow through, the flow through wasn't good. It didn't have a flow through. It went down and did this upside, this U. And a U was great if you're gravity feeding down like from a sink, which is kind of where my head was. But there's the smell is all I did was trap it in the open air bucket. I didn't eliminate the smell, which is what a U trap under your sink does. It leaves a plug of water, and that plug of water prevents the sewer smells from coming up through the kitchen. That's its purpose. That's what it's there for. And my brain had this huge thing, and so I did it wrong. What I'm going to do now is I put a hole in this. This is one of the old paint buckets. I got to clean it out a little bit better. Put a nice hole in it. And it's got a filter, a little stone filter out of some old medical device I was building years ago. I got a boxes full of these things. And I'm going to use this. I'll fill it up with, this will be sand, charcoal, and then rock. So the rock doesn't need to be that thick a layer, because rock is normally to fill out particles. The mesh that goes in a humidifier I use as a screen, and that gets out most of the big stuff, so we really don't need a big layer of pebble rock. But we do need a good layer of charcoal and a good layer of sand. Then it'll come out of here. This will sit on the stand and it'll go out. It'll be a better system. So this is good. It's an upgrade. It's a repair and an upgrade. So. So there's an issue. Good thing is that's just laundry water. It's not going to hurt anything. You're running forward. Like I said before, that water runs right out to a hole. There's a little screen in a hole. This whole floor runs out, because if I ever defrost the freezer, it drains to the ground right there too. So everything runs out right there. No big deal. But now I know I got to seal that hole up with silicone, or a rubber grommet and a rubber hose, something better. I got to seal that up. But that's good, because I need that reservoir on top of the sand, because the water's not going to run through the sand fast. The water has to have time to run through. That's why it had that big bucket before. All right, I was all set up this morning. I was going to catch the beautiful sunrise that was coming up. I came out, I had everything all ready to go yesterday. So I came out this morning, I set everything up. I'm watching for the perfect time. You know, it's the camera thing. It's a photographer thing. You're waiting for the golden hour. So I'm waiting, and finally it's about to hear. So I bring the drone out, and I set the drone up, and I turn it on, and one propeller doesn't move. Great. Brand new drone. No, it doesn't. Try it again, set it all up. Same thing, same propeller, doesn't move. So I bring the drone into the shop, and this is what we got now. Now we got the main body here. Most of the pieces are off. You see I got all the little screws all lined up. Everything's all. It blew a motor. This motor is not working at all. I put some batteries on it. I tested it at 3 volts and at 6 volts, and it's not working at either. And I'm pretty sure it's a 7.2 volt system, but and the motor is doing nothing. So I need to get another motor already. It's what, a month, not even a month old. So I'm going to see, maybe it's under warranty. I don't know, but I have to put it back together, because there's absolutely no way that all those little bitty screws and all the parts, and my memory will not keep the positions of those screws. Right now, if I just take this little motor out of here and then put it all back together, that's the smartest thing to do. Then I'll have the busted piece out. I can do whatever I need to do with it, and I know how to take the thing apart now because I took it apart. And if I put it all back together, then none of the screws will get lost, none of the pieces will get lost. So the project for this morning now was to take pictures of the sunrise with the drone. Then it became take the drone apart and find out why it was broken. Now it's put the drone back together and get a new motor and just wait for the motor to show up, or see if it's still under warranty possibly. So that's what's going on. Ciao. Good morning, lifers. It's 8 a.m. and it's kind of bright out here. It's nice weather. This is pretty average for the desert. The wind is moderate to high. It's a little too heavy wind to put the ladder up and leave it alone, so I can't work on the outside, but I can work on the inside. So what we're doing is insulating. Back wall is the one that takes the most wind out of every wall in the place. This wall takes all the wind that comes rolling off of those mountains. It slams right into this corner, separates here and goes both ways. But this wall, this takes a lot of it. Now what I'm actually going to do is seal these up. This one and this one. This is going to be a closet. My bed's going to be over here. This is a piece that goes in here for a closet for the bed that goes in there. And this will be a closet all the way down. So I'm going to seal this all the way up. I haven't decided if I'm going to put glass jars in here on this side or not. There's not going to be on this side because this is going to be for clothes, and this will be above my head. So that's what we're doing today, is insulating this wall. These are the scraps left over from the triangles, and you can see how I use those. So that's today's project, is spray foaming and cutting and putting insulation in the wall. So get to watch that for a while. Hey, you have like no battery life left here, so I'm going to try to run through this real quick before I put the drywall up. Drywall is not as expensive as plywood right now, and I need a drywall anyway for this. This is the windward side where the most wind comes. This space here is a little over 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to put some spray foam here and here to glue this down as well as screw it down, but I'm leaving this middle open as an airspace gap and a shock absorber, because if this wall does blow because of the wind, and it will blow, this is where I sleep. This will be my bed. This is where I lay my head, and I don't want this boom, 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 boom when the wind is blowing. I'm trying to sleep. So I'm putting this up with a 1/4 inch air gap besides the 1.25 inch insulation and the plywood and the heat barrier and then the cement that'll be on the outside eventually. So now you know what's going on. I'm going to go charge this up and put this wall up and clean this mess up.